You walk through a dusty old library and stumble upon an untouched book. As you open it, a secret map falls out, guiding you to a hidden world filled with ancient treasures and lost cities. This thrilling journey uncovers history's biggest secrets, from treasures buried by volcanic eruptions to ancient scrolls hidden in forgotten caves. Each discovery reveals a new chapter of the past. Join us as we explore these finds and enter a cave untouched for over 7,000 years. Let's get right in. The Terracotta Army. The discovery of the Terracotta warriors was nothing short of astonishing. There were no historical records mentioning this grand underground army, and for over 2,200 years, it lay hidden beneath the earth. Today, this site near Xi'an is regarded as the largest and most significant tomb in China. It all began in 1974, when a farmer named Yang Jifa was digging a well. As he worked the soil, he unearthed pieces of what would soon become a monumental find: thousands of life-sized clay soldiers buried deep underground. At first, people might have thought these were real, petrified humans. However, further excavations revealed that these were intricately molded sculptures. These terracotta warriors were created to guard the tomb of Qin Shi Huang, China's first emperor, in the afterlife. Qin Shi Huang, who ruled in 221 BC, was a powerful leader who united numerous small states into a single, vast empire. To ensure his legacy and protect himself in the afterlife, he commissioned the construction of an enormous tomb, complete with an army made of terracotta, a durable type of clay. This army was vast, consisting of more than 8,000 soldiers, 130 chariots, and 670 horses. Each figure was meticulously crafted, with different faces, hairstyles, and armor. Some warriors are tall and muscular, while others are smaller and leaner. The level of detail was remarkable, with each soldier designed to appear as a unique individual, reflecting the craftsmanship and care that went into their creation. The soldiers were positioned in battle formations, ready to defend the emperor beyond death. Some hold weapons, while others drive chariots, representing generals, officers, and foot soldiers. This layout offers a glimpse into the military structure of ancient China. Although time has taken its toll, with many of the soldiers damaged or broken, archaeologists have painstakingly restored them. The original paint that once gave these soldiers lifelike appearances has mostly faded, but traces of the vibrant colors remain, a testament to the grandeur of this ancient army. It truly is one of history's most remarkable finds. Pompei. Imagine a city frozen in time, an ancient world trapped under a blanket of ash and rock. This is the remarkable story of Pompei, an ancient Roman city that met its fate in 79 AD when Mount Vesuvius erupted with a fury that buried it in a cascade of volcanic debris. The eruption happened so swiftly that the people of Pompei had little chance to flee, leaving them and their city entombed in a sudden, fiery grave. For centuries, Pompei lay forgotten beneath its protective layer of ash, until its rediscovery in the 18th century. Archaeologists who began excavating the site were astonished to find the city remarkably preserved, as if the clock had been frozen on the day of the eruption. Streets, homes, shops, and even the anguished forms of its residents were unearthed in their final moments. The eruption had preserved intricate details, walls still adorned with vibrant paintings, and ovens containing bread that had never been eaten. This astonishing find offers a unique window into daily life in ancient Rome. From the architecture of the buildings to the items left behind, like cooking pots, tools, and personal artifacts, the excavation provides a vivid snapshot of Roman life. It's as though we've unearthed a time capsule, allowing us to peer directly into the past and learn about the everyday lives of those who lived thousands of years ago. Today, Pompei stands as an awe-inspiring archaeological site, inviting visitors to explore and witness the remarkable preservation of an ancient world. The Dead Sea Scrolls. One of the greatest archaeological discoveries in history is the Dead Sea Scrolls. These ancient Jewish texts, written between the last 3 centuries BCE and the 1st century CE, were hidden for thousands of years in the caves of Qumran near the Dead Sea. Their discovery in 1947 was purely accidental. A young shepherd, while searching for a lost goat, threw a stone into a cave and heard the sound of pottery breaking. What he uncovered were scrolls made from animal skins, preserved for over 2,000 years. These scrolls include significant portions of the Hebrew Bible, also known as the Old Testament, and writings that were previously unknown. They provide a window into the beliefs, practices, and daily lives of ancient people. Through these texts, we've learned about how they viewed God, religion, and the world around them. They also reveal how people prayed, the rules they followed, and the stories they cherished. The discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls has been invaluable to scholars and historians, deepening our understanding of early Judaism and Christianity. They've offered new insights into how religious beliefs evolved and how these ancient communities lived. In essence, the Dead Sea Scrolls are like a time capsule, offering us a rare glimpse into a world that existed thousands of years ago, forever enriching our knowledge of history and religion. Egyptian King List. In the 3rd century BC, amidst the grandeur of ancient Egypt, lived Manetho, an Egyptian priest and historian whose legacy would shape the understanding of Egypt's past for centuries to come. Manetho is most celebrated for his monumental work, the Egyptiaca, a historical account of Egypt written in Greek during the Ptolemaic era, a time when Egypt was under the rule of Ptolemy's descendants, the successors of Alexander the Great. Manetho's Egyptiaca was remarkable because it offered one of the earliest and most comprehensive records of Egypt's vast history. At a time when Egypt's past spanned thousands of years, Manetho took on the colossal task of organizing this intricate history into a coherent structure. He divided Egypt's history into dynasties, meticulously detailing the reigns of various kings and the significant events of their rule. His work created a timeline that became foundational for understanding the chronology of ancient Egypt. Though the original Egyptiaca has not survived, its influence endures through references made by later historians such as Josephus and Eusebius. These scholars quoted and summarized Manetho's work, preserving fragments of his historical narrative. Manetho's role as a priest granted him access to sacred temple records and ancient texts, which he likely used to compile his detailed history. Written in Greek, Manetho's Egyptiaca served a dual purpose. It bridged the cultural gap between the Egyptians and their Greek rulers, and it aimed to legitimize the Ptolemaic dynasty by linking it to Egypt's illustrious past. Manetho's division of Egyptian history into 30 dynasties has become a lasting framework, helping us to comprehend the ebb and flow of Egypt's ruling families and the periods of stability and upheaval. Although much of Manetho's work is lost to time, his impact remains profound. His efforts to catalog Egypt's rich history continue to illuminate the ancient world, reminding us of a historian who sought to preserve and connect the grandeur of Egypt's past with the present. Tutankhamun's tomb. The Egyptians have long been known for their elaborate burial rituals, especially when it came to their royals. One of the greatest proofs of this came in 1922, when British archaeologist Howard Carter made an extraordinary discovery in the Valley of the Kings, Egypt. While excavating, Carter uncovered a tomb that had remained untouched for over 3,000 years, filled with treasures beyond imagination. This tomb, as it turned out, belonged to the young pharaoh Tutankhamun, also known as King Tut. Tutankhamun ascended to the throne at just 9 years old and ruled for about a decade before passing away at the age of 19. Despite not being one of the most powerful pharaohs in history, his tomb would become one of Egypt's greatest treasures. When Carter and his team entered the tomb, they were awestruck by what they found: thousands of artifacts designed to assist King Tut in the afterlife. The items included everything from chariots and statues to weapons, clothing, jewelry, and even food. Many of these objects were crafted from or adorned with gold. Among the treasures, the most iconic piece was King Tut's gold burial mask. This stunning mask, made of solid gold and inlaid with blue and red glass as well as semi-precious stones, covered the young pharaoh's mummified head. It has since become a symbol of ancient Egypt and is one of the most recognized artifacts in the world. Unlike many other tombs that were looted over the centuries, King Tut's resting place remained hidden, buried under debris from other tombs. This allowed it to remain untouched, preserving its treasures until Carter's monumental discovery, which continues to captivate the world. Caiaphas Uary. Across the globe, countless museums captivate visitors. But if you're ever in Jerusalem, one place stands out: the Israel Museum. Within its walls lies an ancient clay box adorned with inscriptions, known as the Caiaphas Uary. This remarkable artifact was unearthed in November 1990 during a routine construction project near the North Talpiot neighborhood. Workers accidentally uncovered the burial cave after a bulldozer exposed the tomb's roof, revealing the rock-hewn burial site typical of the Second Temple period, between 516 BCE and 70 CE. Inside this cave were 12 ossuaries, or bone boxes, but the Caiaphas Uary quickly garnered attention. This 2,000-year-old box holds a significant connection to history, potentially offering evidence of Jesus Christ's existence, a fact that resonates deeply with Christian beliefs. However, whether or not you're of the Christian faith, this discovery is a profound archaeological find, steeped in the history of Jerusalem. The ossuary itself is beautifully decorated, a testament to its importance. Inside were found the bones of several children, an adult woman, and a 60-year-old man. But what truly intrigued researchers was the inscription on its surface. In Aramaic, it read, Yehoseph bar Kapha, which translates to Joseph, son of Caiaphas. If this name sounds familiar, it's because Caiaphas is mentioned in religious texts as the high priest of Israel, who played a pivotal role in the trial and execution of Jesus Christ. This discovery of Caiaphas's ossuary is particularly significant as it ties a historical figure to the biblical narrative. To ensure its authenticity, experts like Dr. Boaz Zissou and Professor Yuval Gorin rigorously tested the ossuary. Their studies confirmed its origin from a burial cave near the Valley of Elah and authenticated the inscriptions. In short, the Caiaphas ossuary confirms the existence of Joseph, son of Caiaphas, and by extension, supports the historical existence of Jesus Christ. After being studied, the bones were reburied on the Mount of Olives, adding another layer of reverence to this extraordinary find, the Stone of Destiny. One of the most intriguing aspects of time is how it elevates once ordinary objects into powerful symbols. Take, for example, the Caiaphas ossuary, which was just a simple box 2,000 years ago. Similarly, the Stone of Destiny, once used as a humble pillow and footstool, has become a treasured emblem of Scottish kingship and British royalty. The Stone of Destiny, or Stone of Scone, known as Lee Fail in the Celtic tongue, has been intertwined with the coronation of Scottish kings for centuries. According to legend, it dates back to biblical times when Jacob used it as a pillow at Bethel. Other tales suggest it was part of the Ark of the Covenant or was brought to Egypt from Syria by King Gelus, whose descendants carried it to Ireland. There it was known as the Stone of Faith and used in royal coronations. Around 500 AD, the Celts are said to have brought the stone to Scotland, where it was placed in the monastery of Scone. It was first used by King Fergus More, the founder of Dalriada, and from that point on, it became a symbol of Scottish monarchy. Whoever held the stone was believed to have the right to rule Scotland. In 1296, during the Wars of Scottish Independence, King Edward I of England, known as the Hammer of the Scots, invaded and took the stone to Westminster Abbey. He had a special wooden throne built to house it, where it became a central part of the coronation ceremonies for English and later British monarchs. But the story didn't end there. In 1950, 4 Scottish students stole the stone from Westminster Abbey, hoping to return it to Scotland as a symbol of national pride. Though the stone was recovered, in 1996, the British government officially returned it to Scotland in a gesture of goodwill. Over 10,000 people gathered on St. Andrew's Day to witness its return to Edinburgh Castle. However, it was agreed that the stone would return to London for future coronations, ensuring its continued role in British history, the Petralona Cave. In northern Greece, near the town of Petralona, lies one of the most significant of the country's 12,000 caves, the Petralona Cave. Discovered in 1959, this cave became the focus of international attention when scientists unearthed something truly extraordinary, a human skull embedded in the rock. Known as the Petralona skull, or the Archanthropus of Petralona, this ancient fossil is believed to be around 700,000 years old, making it the oldest human remains ever found in Europe. What makes this discovery even more remarkable is that the skull didn't belong to modern humans or Neanderthals, but to an early human species, Homo heidelbergensis. This species, with its robust facial features and prominent brow ridges, lived in Europe long before the Neanderthals appeared. The Petralona skull provided groundbreaking evidence about the early human presence in Europe, helping scientists better understand human evolution on the continent. Despite missing its jaw, the skull was remarkably well preserved, offering a glimpse into the physical characteristics of these early humans, who had adapted to survive in harsh environments. But the skull was only the beginning of the cave's many treasures. Further exploration revealed a wealth of prehistoric animal remains, including those of bears, lions, and hyenas that roamed Europe during the Pleistocene epoch. Alongside these ancient bones, stone tools were found, suggesting that early humans used the cave for both shelter and hunting. These tools, combined with the animal bones, indicate that the early inhabitants of the Petralona Cave were skilled hunters, capable of crafting tools to aid their survival. But perhaps the most fascinating discovery was evidence of controlled fire use. Ashes and burnt animal bones found in the cave suggested that early humans had mastered fire, using it for warmth and cooking. This discovery pointed to a higher level of cognitive development and social organization, as fire not only provided warmth during colder periods, but also allowed these early humans to cook their food, improving their diet and overall health. The Petralona Cave stretches across several kilometers of underground tunnels and chambers, forming a labyrinth that has fascinated both scientists and visitors alike. Today, pathways and lighting have been installed, allowing visitors to explore the cave's intricate formations and view fossils up close. Nearby, a museum displays many of the artifacts and fossils discovered within the cave, offering a glimpse into the lives of Europe's earliest human inhabitants. Even now, archaeologists and researchers continue to explore the cave, seeking more answers about the ancient humans who once called it home. King Charles, a vampire. When King Charles III unveiled his first official portrait in May, it sent ripples through the public. Instead of the calm, lifelike image they expected, the painting burst with fiery reds and bold strokes. Whispers began to circulate, with one intriguing story emerging from the past. The striking red hues in the portrait reminded many of King Charles's lineage, which traces back to none other than Vlad the Impaler, a 15th-century ruler in Eastern Europe, infamous for his brutal reign and chilling connection to the legend of Dracula. Vlad, also known as Vlad Dracula, ruled over Wallachia, now part of Romania. His reign became notorious for its cruelty, especially his favored method of punishment, impaling his enemies on long stakes to strike fear into all who opposed him. This gruesome legacy, combined with stories of his bloodthirsty ways, eventually inspired the myth of Dracula, the vampire who feeds on the living. Charles's connection to Vlad comes through his European ancestry, specifically through Queen Mary, the consort of King George V, whose lineage intertwines with the Dracula family tree. Despite this fascinating link, King Charles III is worlds apart from the infamous ruler. He is a modern king, devoted to public service, with no vampire ties except through history's intricate web. Still, the boldness of his portrait leaves room for speculation, and one can't help but wonder what inspired such a dramatic choice. Swamp monster. If you've ever visited the stunning landscapes of Australia, you know it's a land teeming with unique wildlife. But if we travel back 50,000 years, Australia was home to some of the most extraordinary creatures to ever walk the earth. One of these creatures was a giant, flightless bird that ruled the land. No, it wasn't an ostrich, but a colossal bird resembling a monstrous version of the dodo. This ancient giant was called Genyornis newtoni. Standing nearly 7 feet tall and weighing over 500 pounds, the Genyornis was a true megabird. Its immense size and powerful build made it one of the largest birds ever to exist. With its thick, muscular legs, it could easily navigate the ancient swamps and woodlands of Australia. Unlike the gentle-looking dodo, this prehistoric bird had a more intimidating presence, well adapted to the open woodlands, grasslands, and wetlands it called home. Despite its fearsome size, the Genyornis wasn't a flesh-eater. Instead, it likely fed on plants, seeds, and fruits, perfectly suited to its environment. But the Genyornis wasn't alone in ancient Australia. It shared the land with other massive flightless birds known as thunderbirds or mihirungs, all part of a unique group of creatures called megafauna. However, as incredible as these birds were, they met a mysterious end, disappearing from the landscape. The extinction of Genyornis and other megafauna has long puzzled scientists. One theory suggests that early humans, who arrived in Australia around 50,000 years ago, played a significant role. Evidence from ancient campsites reveals burnt Genyornis eggshells, indicating that humans likely collected and cooked their eggs. These eggs were massive, and over-harvesting them could have prevented new generations of Genyornis from hatching, contributing to their extinction. Others believe that climate change was a major factor. Around 40,000 years ago, Australia's climate became much drier, dramatically altering the landscape. This change in the environment would have made it harder for large herbivores like the Genyornis to survive, as food and water became scarce. Imagine walking into your backyard and encountering a Genyornis today. What an incredible sight that would be. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you in the next video.